all right? Is it all right?
Hello, welcome. Boxing this week, 29. Big week for British boxing and a little bit in Puerto Rico. We've got a lot to talk about. Although, if we're being completely honest, we're building up to Usyk Fury 2, 21st. And that's really what we're excited for. But we've got some things to talk about this week as well.
Before we talk about Usyk and Fury, there is a big, gigantic card on Sunday in Kent. DFC has to get a shout out.
Oh, go on then.
Yeah, Sunday. Usyk and Fury are next week. Before that, on Sunday in Maidstones, DFC 6 Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, man. Just want to throw that one out there, but carry on.
No, that's all good. We'll put, as usual, there'll be links in the description to any events that myself or Paolo are involved in, so you can go and support it. But this week we'll do the weekly roundup really quickly. There's not a lot that's massively interesting. There's some cool stuff. WBC had their big convention. Conor Benn is looking like he's going to get treated very nicely by Tokyo Sheikh and Maurizio Moneyman. Caroline Dubois has been officially promoted to WBC World Champion. So well done to her, but it's really Kate Taylor's vacated her belt. Dubois is now World Champion. So she's when she fights in February or whenever it is that she's fighting.
She'll be a good champion still. I like Dubois, good fighter.
Yeah. What a year for the Dubois, by the way. Both of them world champs this year.
Yeah, trust me.
I mean, Daniel Dubois had a crazy year, but Caroline is now WBC world champion.
Well, she's actually fallen out of her dad, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't seem to support each other as much as they used to, which is a bit sad, but they'll get back around to it. Ultimately, they'll be fine. So she's now world champion because Katie Taylor has vacated the WBC title. Potentially makes a fight for Chantel Cameron, who I believe was mandatory or to some extent high in the rankings for the WBC. So potentially Cameron versus Dubois in 2025. That's a great fight if it happens. Manny Pacquiao is pushing for the WBC to allow him to fight Mario Barrios.
Shouldn't Barrios be fighting Conor Benn?
Yeah, Barrios should be fighting Conor Benn. In all fairness, I don't want to be encouraging old pensioners to come out of retirement.
You're going to encourage it.
I think Pacquiao actually has a really good chance of beating Barrios.
Right.
I don't rate Barrios at all.
But why should he have the title shot?
Oh, he shouldn't. He shouldn't. That aspect of it is complete rubbish. He shouldn't be allowed it. But
it's like saying Andre Ward would probably come out of retirement and beat a lot of guys at his weight. I'm not saying specifically world champions. Well, we don't know, obviously, but then to give him a title shot straight away is mental, just because he once was something. See what I'm saying?
No, I agree with that. I'm not saying he should get this opportunity. I'm saying that if he did, potentially, and it also helps the fact Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. has agreed to a 55-45 split with Conor Benn. I believe he'd be taking the lower, the 45%. So potentially Conor Benn's now going to go towards that. So we might not see the Ben Barrios, in which case the welterweight division's not that strong right now. Everyone's kind of moved up. Other news that's sort of relevant. Israel Madrimov has he's fallen ill, so he's pulled out of his fight on the Usyk Fury undercard against Boachuk.
Bad timing. He's done that?
Yeah, he's fighting
in February.
Yeah, so
on a bigger card. So
do we actually believe that he's ill?
No, he's not ill, but I would have done the same thing if I was him, because do you under prepare for a big Saudi card, or do you?
Yeah, I imagine he could have fought. I reckon he is a bit ill, but I think he could have gone ahead with it.
Where would Madrimov fought? Where was he going to fight? In Saudi as well?
So he would have fought Boachuk next week on the undercard, co-main event, and then he'd be fighting Virgil Ortiz Jr. in February next year in Saudi again.
Yeah.
So yeah, not really enough time to properly prepare. I mean, we were praising him for it last week, and now he's pulled out of one. But the person we are going to praise is Ishmael P. Davis, who has once again stepped in on late notice. He was actually meant to be fighting this in the same week, so he's actually had a camp. So even though Boachuk is a huge step up, I mean that's a step up from Josh Kelly, who beat Ishmael P. Davis. We are actually looking at he is fit. He's actually able to do the rounds. So at very least, we'll see the best of him. Whether or not that's good enough, I don't know. But for actually getting in there, because apparently a few people rejected it, which is also fair enough. But he's pretty much the definition of if you stay ready, the chances you can take him. So he's making good money at least. And I think that's everything. A few like Floyd Mayweather might have got attacked when he was in England, but
no, he didn't.
So
I'll be honest with you. I saw that he got rushed, but at the same time, I think it's all like fake news. I just think it was a lot of people. He was in a watch shop, so yeah. But I'll be honest with you, it's just stupid, man. It's just stupid. It's that thing again, though. Like, and I know, regardless of what your opinions are on Mayweather,
yeah.
And I suppose this is probably the same for other fighters that are in the spotlight and stuff like that. To get hassled to the point where like people are grabbing you and stuff like it's not normal. Anyone like in the public eye.
Yeah.
So I just find people that do that weird. Just is the only word I can put it. But each to your own. If that's what gets you going in the daytime, then crack on.
No, it is. I mean, he released a statement. I was going to read it out, but I can't actually find it. But he released a statement saying he wasn't in any way attacked, so he was fine. It probably was just too many people in one place, but whatever.
Okay, Connor.
What?
Sorry, guys.
Repping Ronaldo and repping Messi. Nearly Christmas, so we kind of have to step up the Christmas theme. Next week, I'm putting tinsel across the top of our banner here, where we're going Christmassy in the banners. Of course. Let's talk about the fights that happened. Another Magnificent Seven event that didn't fail. I really enjoyed it, and I thought this was going to be the worst one. Watched the whole thing.
Boy, was you wrong. But I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
My personal opinion of it, I didn't enjoy all of the fights in terms of, I don't know. It was really good, but I started to proper lock in towards like mid towards the end.
The first fights weren't great. From David Adelaide onwards, it was good. I got that right. I said Adelaide would probably just roll through Daiquiris. So I'm happy with that. The rest of it, I wasn't quite. Whatever. We didn't have a wager on it, so it's fine.
We've got a wager, though. We have a wager. I need to pay still. Maybe we do that on the show next week.
I'll ask. Yeah, Usyk Fury fight week. We'll do the little. Yeah, no, that's happening. Yeah. For just to very quickly round up, David Adelaide knocked out Solomon Dakers in round 1. Whyte-Okolie won by first round knockout as well against Mohammed Hussein, or Hussein Mohammed rather. Then Denzel Bentley beat Brad Pauls relatively comfortably.
I thought comfortable
but
fight,
Brad Pauls was good.
I really enjoyed that fight, and I think it just goes to show with Brad Pauls that he will be on further cards, and rightly so. He'll be a problem for a lot of people. I think at one point in the fight, Denzel was saying as well about him moving awkwardly, and they had to navigate that as well.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that fight. I thought if you watched it and you went live, you got your money's worth.
Yeah, definitely. I think we saw like Denzel Bentley's a little bit above that kind of level of British title. He should be fighting for world titles. Or at the very least should be amongst those guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's just had a bit of a blip, losing to Heaney and then kind of having to build himself back up. But Hamza Shiraz is fighting Carlos Adames, so Denzel Bentley versus Janabek makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's number one contender for the belt. Rematch, why not? We're going to watch Lawrence Okolie's knockout now because I was very wrong about Okolie. I
didn't enjoy the fight. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I actually still have some criticism, but when you win by round one knockout, it's kind of hard to fully criticize.
Yeah.
But at the very least, we're going to watch it. There we go. Right.
Want to look good here. He's not having any trouble finding Hussein Mohammed.
Yeah, it's just swipes through him. And Hussein Mohammed. To be fair, I actually thought he was going to be able to carry on, and then he wobbles when he gets up. It's this bit here. Can't come forward. But I wonder if we get a better angle of this. Yeah. There we go.
It'll get harder, but how is
a really good counter by Okolie.
Great performance from Lawrence Okolie. He had to look good. He did look good. He looked explosive. Frank Warren will be really happy with that, as will Lawrence Okolie and his camp.
I mean, impressive. Good knockout, clean, bang on the chin. I don't think Okolie can fight a heavyweight for more than about 3 rounds. That's just...
Yeah, I'll be honest, if you're not... I mean, he's still got that sluggish style that had poised deducted against him against Billam Smith. And I think potentially if he was to fight higher up, when he does fight higher up in division, because he will, and I no doubt he'll get there, he might have come into some problems. Like, you've got to remember, he's joined a heavyweight division with the likes of the guys even cropping up like the Johnny, like forget about the top, the Johnny Fishers, the Moses Atumas, all these guys that are cropping up the division now already. And Moses already sparred Okolie at the age of 16 and hurt him badly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where Okolie fits in, because if he fights like that against Tyson Fury, he get his head pinged off, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Usyk just, Usyk, he'd have the size advantage over Usyk, but I think Usyk is too much of a good boxer.
Yeah, Usyk would completely outmove him. He'd probably finish him, Usyk. Okolie's...
I'd be interested to watch Okolie and Joshua,
though. Yeah, I think Joshua's too slick for him. I think Okolie's still too sluggish.
I think the fight's a lot closer than people think, Just because, and the only reason I say that is just because Joshua is shown to be the better boxer. But when he's been pressed on, I say we go off the last fight, but when he's been pressed, Okolie's got a big shot on him. That's that's evident to see. So, it hurts me to say this, but it's like we've seen Joshua not react too well, especially getting pressed early on against the bar. So it's like it'd be interesting to see. But then, like you said, I even feel like Dubois is a different animal.
Yeah, Dubois the pressure is different.
I just don't know where Okolie's going to fit into this, because I think the current heavyweight champions, the current heavyweight champion, personally, and I'll say this before the Fury fight next week, I don't think anyone beats him. I don't. I think he, clip this, put it into existence, but I think he'll beat Fury again.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't see... I don't get the points that are being made as why Fury will win don't make sense.
We all talk about Usyk's offered what he has to offer and he's got nothing else. But what have we seen from Fury over the last couple of fights that's been different that he's offered? No one's talking about that. So it's like...
That's the thing.
So it's like, for me, Alexander Usyk isn't far advanced compared to a lot of boxers.
Yeah.
And it's he may not have the the generic size of a heavyweight, but he is definitely the best. I would say the best boxer in that division. I'd even put him above Fury now. To be honest, I'm looking back.
Oh, Usyk pound for pound is a better boxer than Tyson Fury. It's purely as a heavyweight is Fury better. But I think the thing with Usyk's size, I think for the sake of both of Fury, because if Fury does win, people are going to say what Usyk is tiny. He's 6'4". He's a proper heavyweight now. Like he is big. I'll get a photo. Let's get a photo of. There's a photo he's just put out, maybe today. But the guy is huge. But with regards to Okolie, I mean, realistically, does he beat Usyk? No. Does he beat Fury? No. Does he beat? I mean, Joseph Parker, Dubois? No. Joshua, I can see why you're saying it's a close fight because if Okolie did catch him, I don't think his pressure is enough to actually get a hold of him.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Okolie goes, but in terms of debuts at heavyweight, I mean, it's as good as you can get. 16-1 opponent, and he's knocked him out in the first round. It's not too bad.
But I do. The thing is, his opponent. How good is his opponent as well? So how much can we take?
I watched him before the fight, and I was not impressed.
All of his fights, from what I understand, have been in Germany. Not that makes a difference. It just means he's like a German fighter that's come over to fight or fights out of Germany. But I'm just struggling to see. Like, the thing is, we can't be too harsh because Okolie's first fight at heavyweight, and we're talking.
I know he's smaller than the guy to the left of him, but that guy's like 6'6" or 6'7". Usyk's a big guy.
Well, it's mad because every opponent that Hussein Mohammed, has fought has lost ridiculous amounts of fights.
Yeah. Okolie was meant. That's a nice record to have on there because when you look at it on paper, he beat someone that was 16-1 or whatever.
18-2.
18 and 2. Oh right. Oh, he would have been 18-1 nowadays. Yeah. But
18-2 now.
Realistically,
it's like the only loss, the only other loss he come against was against Zan Kosabutsky, who was a undefeated fighter at the time, and he lost that fight. That was for the WBC international heavyweight belt. And then even his opponent, not that you say you look into it too much, but he's gone on, and his loss came against F.A. Jagba. So that's his only loss on his record, and that's Hussein Mohammed also lost. Yeah. The other guy that Hussein Mohammed lost against only lost against F.A. Jagba.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I don't really know what we can take from that fight. Not too much. He done what he needed to do, put himself on the heavyweight scene. It's his first fighting that heavy. I think he come in at 18 stone.
We can have a look. He was 260 pounds. So yeah, like 18 stone. Oh God, maths. 18 stone 4.
Yeah.
18 stone
so
4.
We're talking about a guy who has got to get used to fighting at that weight as well. So I don't think we can be too harsh with him. Okolie's good. I just don't know how. I like going off that fight. I don't see where he fits in. Whereas if I watch Moses Atume his first couple of fights, I could tell you where he was going to be. You see a big difference.
Yeah,
I know the age is different, but
so is the quality.
We have to look at him as a prospect in the heavyweight division now. He's had one fight at heavyweight. So, he gets put in the same light as Moses, Johnny Fisher, and these guys. I think them guys give him a tough night, but I don't think he'll take them fights.
No. Realistically, the fight that Okolie's going to likely fight the guy that also fights this weekend, Dillian Whyte. that's kind of what makes sense for the two of them, because Dillian Whyte needs to build his name back up after the whole drug stuff and AJ dropping, the AJ fight falling apart. He's still building his name. He fought Christian Hammer, and Christian Hammer basically didn't want to be there, so what was the point? So Dillian Whyte fights this weekend. He should win. Again, I can't remember his opponent's name, but he should win. I know I looked into it. And likely Okolie's next. Who wins that fight? You have to go for Whyte.
I think Dillian Whyte. But then if I go off his conditioning in the last fight, then I say Okolie's got a very good chance of beating Dillian Whyte.
True.
But then if we talk about a Dillian Whyte, active Dillian Whyte, I don't think Okolie beats him.
No, that's too much. It's too much pressure, and
then he's not active, so it's difficult to tell. He's fighting Ebenezer Tete in the Europa Sports Complex in Gibraltar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's fighting.
And the guy he's fighting's records 23-1, and records can't do anything. This man is 36, but I swear to God, he looks 50. Again, he's fought Daniel Dubois.
Oh my God, he does look 50. What the fuck?
Got a picture of him up so people can see. Tell me this guy don't look 50. That's not even. This guy's Ortiz 2.1. He's Ortiz 2.1. I've blocked it. Zoom in on that.
Why are we getting a car advert?
He's 36. I don't believe it.
He ain't 36. He ain't 36. He's powerful though. 23-1, 20 knockout. Who's he fought? Okay, he's kind of fighting a mixed lot, but obviously Dubois.
Or Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, I mean Dubois knocked him out in 50 seconds. Or 2 minutes. 2 minutes 10. Who else? All right. I mean, Dillian Whyte should make pretty easy work of him, but he's not 36. I mean, that's just... He looks confused that they're even taking a photo at the moment.
No, I feel like that's after like a gym session.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. They need to make these photos more like professional or something, because this is... You get some of them where they're like modeling, and then you get other guys, and they're just no idea what's going on. It's crazy, but
yeah, I'll be honest with you.
But Dillian Whyte should win that.
Yeah.
So Whyte-Okolie, I think Dillian Whyte wins.
Your camera's in 240. I swear to God.
Is it?
Yeah, or something.
Oh, it is. What? Must be my internet. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, Dillian Whyte. Yeah, should win. I think he'll take one more. I think he'll take another step up, and then they'll make the Okolie fight. And I don't think Okolie will take that as his second fight at heavyweight. So I think we're going to be waiting a bit before we see that fight. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, like I said, knockout round 1, done what he needed to do. I can't really take much from his performance, though. I'll be honest.
No. Could we see him fight David Adelaide?
He ain't fighting David Adelaide.
No.
David Adelaide would be too quick. I genuinely think if Okolie comes in at 260 against David Adelaide is more athletic. He's quicker. That might be a tough fight for him. David Adelaide's catapulted himself back into world level contention, European world level contention now.
Yeah.
So I would even say that David Adelaide fighting for the British title, I think you should just move on from that and look towards other opportunities that present him. I think he'll get put on the Saudi cards just because he's again. And to be honest with you, belts aside, that's all people care about.
Yeah. It's hard to tell with Adelaide, though, because of his loss to Wardley. I mean, he can't really handle when he's getting pressured. His fighting on the back foot is still not great, but when he hits,
I didn't expect him to do that to Dacre, so that quick.
I didn't think it'd be that quick, but I don't rate Dacre. I don't get the appeal of a heavyweight that really can't punch. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't. He doesn't come across as a great boxer or a big puncher, so I don't really understand where Dacruz was ever going to win that fight. Having said that, Adelaide completely destroyed him. So it is what it is. I mean, Adelaide could fight. I don't really know what makes sense. Maybe fight Fraser Clark for the British title, because I think Wardley's likely going to vacate and move on to European and world title fights. Wardley wants to get himself in amongst the sort of top 10, top 15, which the sort of Zhang's, Parker's Parker's fighting for a world title, but which is probably a step too far, to be fair. But he's going to do it because he's had a big win. Yeah, good event. I like the Magnificent Seven events. They need to keep them going. And Denzel Bentley can probably go fight for a world title now. Brad Pauls can do what he wants. He can keep fighting. He's good to watch. He's always good to watch. So, yeah. Right. Hitchinson beats Paro. I was so wrong with this. So wrong. First of all, one of the judges is a fucking joke. Gave it like 117, 111 or something for Paro. I'm assuming he had his eyes closed for most of the fight, but whatever. Hitchinson won pretty clearly, almost easily. Yeah, seriously good performance, and I didn't think he was that level. So,
summary of that one: Judge needs to get his head checked in.
Yeah, big time. I mean, there's not even too much to say with that. I don't. Like, Liam Paro's likely going to... They're looking at Cambosos fight for him in Australia, homecoming kind of fight for the two of them. I like that fight. And Hitchinson can kind of do what he wants. He's also potentially going to fight Cambosos in New York. So whichever one happens first, I'd assume Hitchinson will get first pick. But as fights go, it was all right. I'm glad I didn't stay up to watch it. The event was, again, it was all right. Got a bit of backlash, the event, because some of the prospects lost.
Backlash in the sense of?
Eddie Hearn was getting a lot of hate on Twitter and Instagram for putting prospects in with people where they weren't guaranteed to win. And Eddie Hearn, we'll get the interview up from IFL TV.
Credits to all the clips will be in the comments, because I know what you lot are like with the copyright and all these things here. Don't worry, we're giving credit. Because you've got to say it sometimes to some people, because it's just...
No, you do, of course. But okay, well, I can't actually find the interview's on YouTube, but I'll just quote. He says, in relation to the people complaining, he says, "Grow a fucking pair of nuts." He wants to put the best fights on, so he's putting the prospects in. He doesn't he basically said if they're in the fights, they should win those fights. If they don't win them, it's because they're a hard fight and they weren't good enough on the night, or they're just not going to be good enough. Which is harsh, but it's true.
But this is what I don't understand, about fickle boxing fans, because in the same breath, we will moan that fighters are not the best fighters are not fighting each other. So when Eddie Hearn goes and puts a card on, and his prospects are on it, and the prospects are lose their fights, people want to complain because they're not in the favour of the prospects. So you've got to make a decision. What do you want to see? What do you as a boxing fan want to see?
Exactly.
One-sided fights or 50-50s, or fights that the chance of anyone losing? And this is why the cards are only working when and they're working more and more now, because we're seeing Frank Warren doing it and Eddie Hearn because of their partnership with Saudi, and what they've probably took and learned out of being in Saudi. A lot of people want to dig the Saudi cards out, but I'll be honest with you. I ain't saying nothing, but I've been in rooms with older fight. I've been at shows and events with older fighters, WBC world champions, IBFs, you name it. Guys that were fighting on Muhammad Ali's card. And When I asked a couple of them back in the day when they were fighting on Muhammad Ali's card. Sorry, I met John Conte.
Yeah.
Legendary fighters, like in terms of the, especially British fighters, but not specifically him, because I think when I spoke to him, he thinks he's quite good, and he's more interested, obviously, in the light heavyweight division at the moment, given him where he fought. So, which is full. But the point I'm trying to make is Saudi coming onto the boxing scene has brought nothing but entertainment to everyone. You're getting 50-50 cards. You're getting a stacked card from top to bottom. So that's another thing that people complain about. The cards are not full. All the money goes to the main fighters. So now they're here. We've got a stacked card. Go and look at Beterbiev and Bivol's card for February.
Yeah.
I know we'll talk about that another week, but I'm just saying, go up, and we spoke about it a little bit last week. Go and look at Beterbiev and Bivol's card. Go and look at Usyk and Fury's card, which personally, I don't think is the best one they've done, but I think
it's not. It's more a prospect card, isn't it? But it's still good.
Entertaining from top to bottom, regardless. But that maybe I'm saying that because we've been spoiled the last 8.
We really have. I mean, we're getting 2 of the best heavyweight prospects on there. Boachuk Madrimov would have been a brilliant co-main. Boachuk Ishmael P. Davis is not quite as good. Dennis McCann, Peter McGrail is a really good fight, or should be a really good fight. But equally, you're right. I mean, that's not the level of the Bivol Beterbiev 2 card. Is mental.
So what I'm asking you, fickle boxing fans that make these comments, or fans in general, are we moaning at Eddie? Do you know what? It's the same thing when it's like people dig out Eddie Hearn for losing and losing fights, and it's the end of Eddie Hearn. And I know we're going off a bit, but I do want to highlight this. I saw a reel the other day, and I actually comment on it because I'm real. Do you know Matchroom's highest gross or earning profit doesn't come from boxing?
Where does it come from? What, like
yes.
Snooker?
Darts,
right.
Profit-wise, what they made, like when you talk about profit turnover, sorry.
Yeah.
Profit turnover, darts makes them more money. Boxing, I think, comes second, and then snooker comes third. But my point being is they know how to run a well-oiled machine. So when Eddie Hearn's putting on these cards, he knows what he's doing. I don't think, unless you're qualified from a position, we're constantly dug out. I like to say dug out about us as media and stuff like that, about questioning the amount of times we've maybe been in a professional fight or whatever it is, which for a lot of people is probably never. Yeah. But we still are entitled to the opinions within respect. That's always my belief in it. As I feel like everyone's got an opinion. The paying customer is the reason that the fighters get paid. It's the reason that they fight on these cards. So you can never be angry at a fan for having a valid or fair point. Or if he's talking about a fight and he sits there, and like us and watches week after week fights, streams, live streams, Get Up does live streams. We're going to have opinion on the boxing. My opinion is just as valid as anyone else. And your opinion is just as valid as anyone else. But, a lot of people dig Eddie Hearn out about the cards. And I could use the same analogy there that, he knows what he's doing, probably more than the person, Alan from Kettering, who just said that Eddie Hearn's a waste of space, sitting on his sofa eating a bag of what's-its.
No, you're right, though. You're kind of like 100% right. I mean, before the Saudi cards were going on, people were asking for the 50-50 fights. They were saying boxing is like, but when it got compared to the UFC, boxing always came up second because the UFC put the best fighters in with each other basically every week, or at least every month.
Boxing it's easy to do that when you've got one promotion, though.
Yeah, of course. But when you compare the two and you go, well, boxing doesn't do that. We got Canelo fighting who knows. Our champions are just fighting absolute nobodies. And then eventually you get Crawford Spence, but it's 3 years late and all this kind of stuff, right? Boxing is now at a place where we have a focal point for those 50-50 fights. And it means that everybody else has to kind of keep up. So Eddie Hearn, when he's doing his own shows, or Matchroom when they're doing their own shows, there's an expectation for those prospects to be in hard fights. If they lose, like Eddie Hearn said, it is harsh, but like he said, it means they weren't good enough on that, either maybe that night, or maybe they just are not good enough. But that's part of boxing. There's 2 people in the ring. There's 3 outcomes, and most fights do not end in a draw. So someone has to lose, and it's not always going to be.
And the application can also come down to the fighter if they've not done everything that their coach has said. You can never take any fighter lightly. We've seen Terence Crawford begun his journey to where he is now as a stepping opponent.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford was a stepping opponent.
Yeah.
And then from that point, he just didn't lose. He hadn't lost as it is, but I mean, as in, no one knew Terence Crawford before he stepped into that fight on 3-4 weeks' notice.
No,
what was it?
He was doing the stay ready until you get that call up, and then you can accept it. That's why I respect Ishmael P. Davis. I don't think Ishmael P. Davis is Terence Crawford level or will ever get to that.
I like Ishmael P. Davis. I think he's good.
But he's good and he's ready. And he's getting in the ring. He's taking that opportunity. They offered that fight to, I think, 3 or 4 people, of which I know that they're saying Ishmael P. Davis is the one they wanted, but I know they offered it to 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
To me, that says there were 3 people that basically were not ready, did not want to take that fight. Ishmael P. Davis, the fight, in the morning we were told Madramov's out. In the evening, Ishmael P. Davis is in. That shows you how ready he was. So that's how boxing works. You got to be ready for it. And in regards to these 50-50 fights, keep them coming. That I do not want to go back to where we have prospects on their 10th fight fighting a journeyman who's had 95 losses and 3 draws. We don't need to go back to that. We shouldn't be. That's a debut fight at most. Boxing's in a good place. People need to stop complaining. And it's getting better as well. It's actually getting better. We've got so many fights that are signed and just waiting to be announced for next year on the Saudi cards as well. I mean, Bakoli or Jagba, just one of them. Mental. Boxing's in such a good place. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I think that's a pretty important thing to bring up. And
yeah, big up Teddy Hearn. Let me just, I'm just grabbing my McFlurry and a Coke. I can see it here. 1 second.
McFlurries are good. We have a McDonald's where I live.
It's actually not arrived at my door yet, but carry on.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't have a McDonald's where I live.
All right. The package has landed. I'm not eating both at once, obviously, because I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
So,
you ever done the chips in the McFlurry?
No.
Oh, that's meant to be good.
No.
I don't understand it. Apparently, is it chips in the milkshake? No, chips in the milkshake.
Listen, all I'm saying to you is, not 5 or 6 days of the week here now for consistently forever for a while. I've just been drinking water, like water. Cut down fizzy drinks.
Yeah,
it's Thursday night. It's the boxing show.
Yeah,
that's flat.
Carry on. That fucking ruins it. It's flat. Oh no, McFlurry. What McFlurry have you got though? That's kind of important. Oh,
Smarties. I've got the same McFlurry since I was 6 or 7 years old. I'm 30 now. Never changed. Never got another one. I'm boring about that.
I think the Kit Kat one sucks. Just say, I mean, it's the boxing show, but the Kit Kat McFlurry sucks. Yeah. The wafer doesn't work. But... These
lot watching it going, just get back to talking about yeah, go
on. What's next? All right, we got Natasha Jonas fight week and Lauren Price both fighting on the same card. If they both win, they'll fight each other. They should both win. I'm going to go ahead and say Lauren Price will definitely win. Natasha Jonas is 40.
Yeah, I don't like the way that Boxer have been disregarding Jonas's opponent. And a big shout out to her because I saw a clip earlier on.
Yeah.
Where she actually called out Ben Shalom. And it's not Ben Shalom's fault, but specifically, you could blame it on the promoter. You could not. Whatever way you look at it. But she is fighting a world champion, by the way, Natasha Jonas.
Yeah.
Let's get that twisted for a second. Let's not get that twisted for a second. Like you said, her age, she could lose this fight.
Yeah. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. Just like Natasha Jonas had her peak. What was where was she fighting before? 140 pounds. Yeah, she was lighter. She's moved up, hasn't she? So she's had her peak. She had that year when she picked up 3 titles, and it was great. She fought Katie Taylor, was brilliant. Fought Terry Harper, was brilliant. I think she's very much over the hill, which is sad. She's one of my favourite fighters to watch, but the Michaela Mayer fight, she lost.
It's a shame I couldn't get Dan on to come and say words for 10 minutes. I might text him, but I think Dan is obviously one of the promoters for Boxer.
Yeah.
Who's from locally, lives like sort of around me, and I use his studio quite a lot. So yeah, he's in Liverpool at the moment. So I was talking to him earlier on. But yeah, no, obviously would have been good to get him on to have a few words. We will do something like that soon because I still got to get Ellis Zoro on. Obviously, he's busy with his podcast, but he's always down to come on and say a couple of words. And a few others. So that's what we need to work towards in the new year. A couple of those lives.
2025, we're getting more people on. The streams are going to be good, by the way. I've started the editing and all sorts of with it, and they're going to be fucking good. But need to kind of wait and get it all finalised before we start jumping ahead and
going back to it. Stuff, but Jonas and Lauren Price. If they both come out of the as victory, I think Lauren Price will. I'm not 100% sure on Jonas.
Lauren Price, I'm basically certain is going to win. I think she's unbelievably good. I feel like she should smile more. Like, boxing's aggressive enough. You get a lot of fighters that are quite aggressive, but, you know, she never seems happy. She's kind of always got a bit of a frown going. I feel like she could definitely be... it's just a personal... Maybe she's
going to rush you when you see her, you know.
Probably.
You know why? Because we're going in February. There's a boxer card at Wembley Arena, and we did a press conferences in Box Park in Wembley, so you should come to that. But you'll probably see Jonas there, and you know she sees this, she might rush you, Connor.
No, Jonas is happy. Jonas is always happy. I like Jonas. Right. I'm saying Lauren Price just needs to. Oh yeah, no, she might, but. It's fine. I can get knocked out. It will do well. The views on that will be good. So it's good.
Your face might not be good though.
It's fine. Surgery, plastic surgery is big now and cheap. Go Turkey. But yeah. I mean, in terms of her boxing, she's one of the best. She's not even a prospect now. She's a world champion, but still feels like a prospect.
Listen, I think she just locks in. Like, to be honest with you,
there's that.
She locks in during the fight. But do you know what? Yeah, I watched a couple of documentaries of her. Stuff about her nan and all this sort of thing. And even stuff she does in her local community. When she had that card in Cardiff, you know, she personally dropped off most of the tickets herself. When she was
I'm a big fan of hers. I'm a massive fan. But that's why I'm like... I don't know, I just feel... I don't know.
Look down the camera and tell Lauren Price.
I'm a big fan, but smile more.
Wow.
No, but you always see like fighters that are locked in and then they win the world title. I mean, it's an IBO world title, so maybe
I'm going to send this to Dan. I'm going to get him to show her.
No, don't do that because I don't actually want to get beaten up. But I'm saying on a pure basis, you see fighters win, and after the fight, they're celebrating. She just, like, I don't know, maybe it's not enough for her yet, which is actually, I mean, that's really positive to sort of see where she's going to end up. But I mean, she's ridiculously good. 7 fights in, and I don't know if she's lost a round. Like, actually, genuinely, has she lost a round? I'm looking on BoxRec. I don't think she's never lost a round on any judge's scorecard. She's never lost a round.
Who else has done that? Sky Nicholson.
Sky Nicholson has won the majority of her rounds, but there's like a couple. But I mean, she's fighting at a higher level at the moment. But
yes, that's what I'm saying. When you can do it at that level, how good of a fighter are you?
Yeah, but like Lauren Price has.
I'd like to see Jonas and Natasha if they both win, but I even think Jonas loses that fight.
Yeah. I thought she lost against Michaela Mayer, right? So I'm kind of. If Ivana
Did she lose
Habazin,
against Michaela Mayer though?
I think she did.
You think, but did she lose? She didn't lose. So
No, she didn't lose, but the judging on that was a little bit biased. It was in Liverpool. Split
that's what they
decision.
do. That's the anthem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what was Benchlon thinking though? I'm not being
Scouse
funny.
not English, mate. Scouse not English. But Michaela Mayer should have won that fight for me.
Yeah.
And Jonas didn't look very fresh. She was struggling towards the end. So I just think with this fight, she could lose the later rounds. Yeah. But I'm basically 100% confident Lawrence Price will win. And on the undercard, we got Viddal Riley, who makes his quite long-awaited return now with all the injury. And just, well, apparently, to be fair, he just wasn't getting booked to fight. But he's back. And I'm glad to see that because I think he's a really good prospect.
I think we've got to see him and Isaac at Chamberlain at some point, man.
Well, that's what they're saying. Viddal wins this fight. Him and Isaac Chamberlain are basically, the contracts are ready. They just need Viddal to win. So
that's a big fight in London.
That's a hard fight for.
That's a big fight in London.
Yeah, massive fight in London. And that's a hard fight for both of them. You'd have to favour Isaac Chamberlain on the experience, but
do you know what?
Viddal Riley might be kind of special, so we don't know.
Isaac Chamberlain is ready though. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people think he's inactive. I've seen him at a TM14 Promotions small hall show. I saw him at their card, and he was there with Viv Parsons, who's a GB England boxing national champion. She will turn pro in a couple of years. Connor, remember that name?
Viv Parsons.
Anyone watching, remember Viv Parsons?
All right.
Yeah. You see how Fran Hennessy's come on to the scene and done what she's done?
Yeah.
Whenever I see Viv, I always say to her, when you turning pro? I think she gets that question a lot. But talking to Isaac Chamberlain, I spoke to him a little bit, and he always seems locked on. So I think he's ready. Like, I even think when I spoke to him, he had a couple of offers, but I think at the time they just didn't make sense. He's got a good team behind him. Obviously, he's got Mick Hennessy as well as his manager.
Yeah.
So they'll make the right decision when the time presents itself, I think.
I think people mistake his kind of like joking around for not being serious.
No. You know what? To be fair, he trains in Athelby Boxing Club in Brixton. There's a couple of boys there that train that are even just don't go down there to train, not necessarily professional. He'll train with everyone or in and around. They'll have their own separate time the pros train. Yeah, he's in and around the gym. He's a big influence on that gym, massive influence on that gym. And do you know what? He's always working hard, I think. It's just you don't see it on camera.
No. Because in all fairness, that doesn't sell. Isaac Chamberlain is brilliant in fight week, every fight week, because he winds the opponents up and he gets under their skin. He's brilliant. It doesn't sell as well to just sit there and be like, yeah, I've trained really hard for this fight. I'm ready. Cool.
Yeah.
That only really starts selling once you're like a world champion. But I really like Isaac Chamberlain. It's a hard fight for him if he does come against Viddal Riley, which I do think will be next if Viddal wins on Saturday, which I think he will. Well, he should. So, yeah. But I think Isaac Chamberlain would win, just on experience. He's been in there with those guys.
You think it's a difficult one, yeah, because Viddal Riley, you know, we all talk about the sparring stories and everything else. He's hurt and knocked out some big fighters, you know.
Yeah, if Viddal Riley's as good as we hear, then he's going the whole way. So
I heard a sparring story, but I'm not really allowed to talk about it because people will know. No, because they'll know where it come from, innit?
Yeah, that's fine.
But what I'm going to say to you is there's certain heavyweights coming up that you're watching now that he's knocked out. and they're British. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
In sparring. So it's like, I know sparring's a different thing, but all I'm hearing about Viddal, even from locally, because he's not, he's not a million miles away in terms of where he's from. And so, he's upsetting people in the gym sparring. He's causing problems for people.
Yeah.
We see it when he fights. It's a good fight. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know what it is? I wouldn't even want to. I would sit on the fence for that one still.
I think it's just a step too far for Viddal at this stage of his career. I think overall, like when all is said and done, I'd be surprised if Viddal Riley isn't at the very least fighting for world titles or winning world titles. But I think right now, it's the perfect time to make the fight because Chamberlain's coming off of a loss and looking, he needs to rebuild again.
Yeah.
And Viddal's looking to beat Chamberlain and probably put himself into maybe world title level, well, maybe not quite just, but around that level. Viddal Riley beat Dubois in the amateurs. That's a big name that he did beat. That's now obviously gone on to win the heavyweight world champion. I mean, that's kind of that's the level that we're talking about potentially. But he's young. He's still got lots to improve on. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else going on this week. This week's not got a lot. That is boxing this week. Next week is massive. We're gonna have a lot coming out.
What are we doing? All right, let's talk about this on camera for the viewers.
Yep.
Because we have these little private chats, but what are we doing next Saturday? What is going on, Connor? Let's have this conversation now. Forget it afterwards. People can see the organisation. What are we doing next Saturday?
Timing wise, I'm not going to be able to get to London and come back with it. Like, it's going to.
We're not going to London. We're not doing London now. I messaged you earlier.
Oh, did you? Oh,
I'm not doing London now.
Oh, all right. Well, we're doing a live stream here then.
I live in London, but I'm not going to that part of London to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So we are doing a live stream.
We're doing a live stream. We're watching the fight. We're gonna do. I mean, we'll do the show as well. Are we gonna do a weekly show as well? Reacting to this stuff. Maybe it depends. If the fights are good enough on Saturday, then maybe we'll do something on Thursday as well. If not, we're definitely doing a show on Saturday.
Reactions on Thursday, Connor.
Oh, we could start that.
We might as well throw that one out into the open.
Go on.
New format we've been working on. If we don't say it, we're not going to do it. Let's put it into existence.
Well, we were definitely doing it, but it was going to be a New Year thing. But we can. All right. Okay. Cool. So Saturday we're doing the Fury Usyk full live stream from first fight to main event. We'll get people up. We'll have a whole thing for that. That'll be like a normal way we normally do it, but we'll add some stuff to it because it's it's the biggest fight of the year or one of the biggest fights of the year. Thursday we'll do reactions that will come out. We're going to react to Usyk and Fury. We'll rewatch Usyk Fury 1 or something like that, and we'll get that out for Friday in build up to the fight week. We're going to have a whole build up to the fight week. Yeah, I'm really excited for it, and it's also my last week at work for the year. So
Reels will be in form and on point next week. It's just been a bit of a mad week. It also didn't help when Instagram went down.
That never helps, to be fair.
So there's been a bit of a delay, obviously, in the reels and stuff that we normally post out for you guys to see. He's back to normal now. This will change. So as always, we'll get some done. And apart from that, no new news. I think we can let people know. I think we was talks of us potentially. You guys would have noticed, but potentially changing our supplier for the streams. But it's that's it. It's in progress talk at the moment. Other than that, listen, guys, it's going to be a big week next week. There's going to be fight week. There's going to be predictions. Once I get DFC 6 out of the way on Sunday, I'm back on to Hook Casuals and with the build up to fight week. So it's non-stop for me. I've got a boxing show Sunday into it Saturday. And then forget to mention to people, a couple of days later, we are watching in Nui.
Oh, yeah, of course, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
No versus Sam Goodman. Midday.
In the morning, we can live stream that.
Yeah, you got to tune in for that one as well. That would be big. Boxing's so good right now. I mean, even this Saturday is a good event. It's just not. It's not the level of Magnificent Seven being.
Connor's looking over them. I'm not gonna lie, he's looking over them. I hear it. It's hard not to when you've got the cards. That's the hands that have been dealt in front of you.
I know. Usyk Fury, and then 3 days later we've got Naoya fighting.
And then what I can say is there will be. Well, we might as well let people know because they are our viewers. But the only show we won't have a show on the 26th.
Oh yeah, no need.
Because it's Boxing Day. It's a Thursday, but there'll be no show that week. That's the only thing.
No. We're doing the live reaction to Naoya, so we're not doing a show on the 26th. We'll do a show back on the 2nd.
Back a second.
On the 2nd, we're back properly because it'll be the new. Everything will be sorted. I haven't even shown Paolo yet, but things are moving. I'm very excited. Very excited.
I'm going to press him once we get off this. Don't worry.
No, genuinely. We're good. Yeah. I think that's everything. So you can do the outro now. Tell the people to be in the mud, and then we.
You know what? I want to change it. It's a bit depressing, isn't it? So I'm going to change it.
It's a bit sad.
It's funny though, but I'm going to change it. Look, just like, share, and subscribe. More importantly, because as we come towards the end of the year, me and Connor have kept on saying Hooked Casuals is the central point for our weekly shows.
Yeah, from the 2nd.
And they'll be rolling every week for the next year, whatever. For next year, we'll have a show every week. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we need you all to go over to Hooked Casuals, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it, tell a friend to tell a friend, and make sure you interact with the video, like, share, subscribe. We really want people to come on and have their boxing opinions next year. Where we've just got this on its feet. We've had a couple of weeks. Big up to Dirk, who joined us this year, the American.
Yeah, Dirk. Yeah.
Great little outro. Never saw his face, but he had his voice there. But we want people coming on. So, today we wanted to get through this, so there wasn't a link to join, to be honest with you, because we was going through what we was doing today.
Yeah.
Bit of I wouldn't say quiet week, but next week's the build-up.
Yeah,
so
it's not the big week, is it? I mean, it's cool.
And next week we're going to have... I'm even going to say this. Connor's going to leave a slot. He doesn't know this yet. I'm just telling him. But on the templates that you do for the live streams, we're going to have guests. We're going to leave a window, a slot, for a guest to join in between. We'd let them on for a little bit. Next one, kick them off or whatever. Let the other people come on.
Okay, yeah. We can do that.
Throw your opinions in. We'll let you join on Saturday, next Saturday, so that you can watch it along with us for a bit. Stay, we are open to getting all of that out. So yeah, other than that, I've got to say, guys, just like, share, and subscribe, man.
Yeah.
Have many festive returns. Hope you're enjoying December Christmas break. For a lot of us working people, because we in Connor do have jobs. This is not our yet.
Yeah,
we're both finishing next week. And like I said to you, we're bringing a new, improved, better show to you January. So just keep tuned. We've got some guests lined up, which are surprises. And they'll be incorporated into the lives. We've got different elements of the YouTube channel that we're talking about at the moment, of stuff with plans. So reactions is actually one of them. We will do a reaction to Usyk and Fury, but there will be some weeks where I'm talking, you send us what you want us to react to.
It can be mental as well. It can be absolutely anything.
I want to react to the Russian cage fight in 10v10, and when someone gets knocked out, they're out. So you could be 10v1, and that's so we're going to be reacting to everything. It's a separate element to our show. It just means an added extra show that comes out on the YouTube in a week alongside boxing this week.
Yeah.
It's all moving in the right direction.
We've actually got a lot. You'll see.
And we're going to
You'll
have an
see.
outro in 2025 as well, because at the moment it just ends.
Yeah, we need one of those. I haven't
need
even
one of
started
those.
working on that, but we do need one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. But apart from that, we are over and we're out.
Adios.